Welcome back, gamers, to the final episode of the Slow Run Cast before the release of the Switch 2 and the Summer Games Fest. I am your host.
I was gonna say, are you turning this into the torture cast? Before we started, you're like, this is gonna be a 4-hour podcast. I was like, no, this is becoming Mo's torture cast, where he talks to you for 4 hours. He doesn't let you leave. Our first guest will be Aisha Birani.
She has to listen to me talk for 8 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh man, I look on your face. What you look like? You thought I was like quitting live on air or something.
No. I wasn't worried about you quitting. I was worried about you being serious that this is going to be a 4-hour torture cast.
We'll find out. Maybe we'll get excited. Yeah, you never know, man.
Yeah, you're just gonna.
You never know with us. It's a slow run cast, so
yeah,
you never know.
It's gonna be like I don't know if you watched Parks and Rec with Aisha ever.
I haven't.
But there's this one episode where they do like a filibuster, and this guy, he basically gets put on there for a filibuster, and he starts talking about just the nerdiest shit, like the continuation of Star Wars before episode 8, 7, and 9, and just talking about how that universe can now bridge into like the Marvel's universe and just like the weirdest shit. This is what I imagine a 4-hour podcast
Sounds like my type
of you.
Guy, bro. Sounds like my type of guy.
It's like now this Blade Marvels game connects directly to Ghost of Tsushima.
So Blade's Marvel, it connects to
Cyberpunk. That would be really cool. Blade in Cyberpunk 2077.
See, there we go, man. There we go. We have some Cyberpunk news this week, and no, we don't have any Blade news.
You wish.
We don't have any news about Blade. But we could get right into the news. So like I said, this is the final episode before the culmination of the most exciting stuff for at least this first half of the year, the release of the Nintendo Switch 2 and the Summer Games Fest, both happening on Thursday. Or no, the Switch 2 comes out on Thursdays. Wednesday, me and you will be lining up in front of the good old Sunridge Mall to get our Switch 2s for midnight launch. And then Friday is the Summer Games Fest. So,
dude, I got to get you on the guava monster. It's like a new flavor from Monster.
I love guava, but I didn't know there was a new flavor for Monster.
Dude, new flavor. I first tried this in Hawaii. Best flavor. Better than White Monster.
Have you been seeing it in Canada?
Yeah.
At all? Okay.
Yeah, I had it just yesterday. It's
that's
at most of the gas stations, dude.
Most of the gas
best
stations.
Flavor.
Perfect. That is going to be what we are drinking while we are lining up with this with the Nintendo weebs.
Yeah. We're gonna have some. We're gonna have some Doritos too, or Cheetos. Is it Cheetos for the Nintendo people? Is Doritos and Mountain Dew specifically saved for Xbox and PS5?
We need to make sure that to stop the drift on the Joy-Con, you need to get like crumbs inside to keep the Joy-Con straight. It'll stop it from the drift. So I think it might be Cheetos because the powder could get into the
the powder is a little bit thicker, right?
Yeah.
Versus the Doritos is a little bit more fine. Yeah.
What a hack, bro! What a hack! Then they're gonna sue us because that was their plan already. They already have like Dorito or Cheeto dust inside the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, it's what's holding it together.
Let's see how fast one of us gets drift.
I've never gotten drift on Joy-Con.
I've never gotten drift either. I know I'm talking shit.
So it's never
on a Joy-Con.
Maybe if Dust Bloods come out and you start hammering it as hard as you've been hammering
Elden Ring Nightreign? Yeah. But yeah, let's get into it. We have some news for this week. Nothing crazy. We'll talk a little bit, like you said, Elden Ring Nightreign, which I've been playing, which just came out last Friday. Today is Sunday, the 1st of June. And then we will split this up into 2 episodes, just like we did last week. And the second will be our predictions and hopes and expectations for the Summer Game Fest. Spoiler, I was gonna give like some serious predictions, and I realized it's not really fun. So I wrote some crazy stuff down. That's probably not gonna happen. Yeah.
Unless you call it, and then it's the craziest show ever.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I shouldn't have said it like that. I should have just said like I was dead serious. And then everybody would be like, this guy's an idiot. And then when it comes true, they're like, yo, this guy. Holy smokes. Yeah. Missed opportunity. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll do it next time at Gamescom. So one thing I couldn't have predicted happening this week, because I didn't even know this game existed, to be quite frank with you. EA has canceled its Black Panther game and closed its studio, Cliffhanger Games. You sent this to me like sometime Wednesday or something, and I'm like, oh, cool. I don't even know this was happening. Did you know this was happening?
Yeah,
this game was
man.
in development?
Yeah.
Really?
I remember I think there was a trailer for it too. I remember watching it at one point and I was just like, oh, that seems kind of pretty cool.
For some reason, I don't recall a trailer whatsoever. Yeah. But this...
Okay.
Yeah,
I got to double check. I got to double check for my own sanity.
Yeah. So anyway, the game apparently was not that far along. That's why they decided to just shut it down. It was not kind of meeting milestone expectations. And as part of this closure, of course, several people have been laid off. And Cliffhanger Games has been shut down, which is the development studio that was working on this. And this is not the first round of layoffs from EA this year. We obviously know the whole Dragon Age debacle early this year with people being laid off from... who's that developer? The one in Edmonton?
Why
am I blanking? The Mass Effect and... now I'm blanking on the other game. Yeah, the Mass Effect and the Dragon Age developer. Yeah, I don't know why this game. But anyway, as part of this also, Laura Miele, I don't know how to pronounce her name, EA Entertainment's president, said this is part of a move to focus on more core IPs at EA. And that includes specifically, namely, Battlefield, The Sims, Gate, which, okay, sure. I don't know how core that is. Apex Legends, to name a few. And they have confirmed that the Star Wars Jedi third in the trilogy is still happening. EA Motive's Iron Man game is actually still happening as well. Cliffhanger Games, the studio that's being shut down, was formed in 2021 and was led by Kevin Stevens, who was the boss at Warner Brothers Monolith that worked on Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, which we also brought up in a previous episode several months ago. That studio was also shut down by Warner Brothers, and their Wonder Woman game was canceled. So yeah, I mean, not good news. Again, like, I would have liked to see this game, but this is an interesting move in what seems like, Marvel IP games specifically not making it past the finish line, which I don't know what the deal is. Like, I know they have to pay a lot of money in licensing for this stuff, but...
Yeah. But I mean, you would assume it's already been paid and negotiated, right? If you already have a game announced. And I did check. There was a trailer for it. I believe it was supposed to be an open world Black Panther game.
And this trailer's still online. Is it
Yeah,
like
I
a
think
cinematic?
So. Yeah. I don't know if it's I think it should be a cinematic, or this might have been like a proof of concept or something, but I Googled it real quick, so don't 100% quote me, but yeah, I remember seeing something about it or hearing something about it, and I was pretty interested because Black Panther is kind of I think a easier concept to play with, because I was imagining more of like a Batman game, but like in the Black Panther, where you play as like Black Panther, basically. That seems...
what I'm seeing online is there's a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
For the game. That's how it was announced.
Iron Man, I don't know, man. I think I would have rather seen like a Black Panther game more so than a Iron Man game.
To me, it sounds like this Iron Man game is further along and maybe has hit the milestones that has given EA some level of confidence that they're willing to keep moving forward with it, but maybe not the Black Panther game. And going back to your point about the licensing, and they would have had an agreement and paid something. Um, I was listening to Greg Miller on the Kind of Funny podcast, and he was mentioning something about how the way these contracts are written, like there's like clauses and stuff in them where there's like different things that would trigger more payment to
Okay.
the license, not the licensee, but the licensor, of this IP. Yeah,
So
it's
maybe it
interesting.
might have ballooned out of what they wanted to spend on it,
Yeah,
perhaps even.
this is there's been a lot of kind of failed superhero stuff, which is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Marvel's Avengers from the
God.
co-op kind of game.
Yeah, that was have you ever played that game?
I did not play it.
Dude, terrible.
Yeah,
I played a few hours of it and it was like, I want to say like almost unplayable. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of DLC stuff. I think I got through the first level. It was like nothing interesting.
yeah. Wasn't it like almost basically like a co-op looter shooter, almost sort of thing? Really? Like you just get loot and I can't remember.
I honestly didn't play enough of it, but like, yeah, there's like a campaign mode, and you can kind of play as like the different characters. Like you play as Iron Man as like one of the first ones initially, and like I don't know, I thought his play style was like really weird, and then like there was the Hulk you play as, and like Captain America. I don't know.
Mm,
Yeah, I think it is better that they chose to like focus in on one like superhero, so you design one type of combat that's like very very fun to play, and not
yeah,
just like throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks and what plays well and what doesn't, kind of deal.
but I mean, I guess there's Marvel's Rivals. I know that's a completely different game, but I know that's a hero shooter, but those characters are all pretty unique,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, I don't
I
think
mean,
there's yeah, but I
are
don't
they
think
are
there's
they really that unique? Blonde and
Oh, okay, yeah, Emma Frost and Cloak and Dagger and
that's a
yeah,
joke, but yes, no, I
yes,
understand what you're talking about. Like they all have their special abilities and
they
stuff
all
like
have their
that. Yeah.
special abilities, and I actually think that game is like really balanced. Like, I don't think there's a really bad like untouchable character, right? You know, there's more popular ones and less popular ones, but I don't think there's one that's like brutal. And then through balancing, they've kind of
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, anyway, that's unfortunate. Apparently, this now canceled Black Panther game, there was some leaks of some sketches, and it was reported that T'Challa's son was the game would have T'Challa's son taking on the Skrull, which, to be honest with you, I'm not a Marvel guy. I don't know what Skrull means. Skrull.
Oh,
Um,
it's just a type of race in the Marvel universe. They're like
oh,
shapeshifters.
okay, yeah. So unfortunately, that monolith studio being shut down by Warner Brothers, and then the people who left it to go make something else also being shut down. Bad luck all around. That's not the only news that we got of a game cancellation this week. Apparently, People Can Fly have canceled 2 games, including a Square Enix project. People Can Fly's last game, if I'm not mistaken, is Outriders, which was like the co-op kind of Gears of War like looter shooter. If you remember that cover-based kind of shooter, I believe the game came out in 2021. If you remember Outriders, um, it was a pretty decent game. I played a little bit of it, not enough to like pull me in full time. But they were working on an unannounced game that was set to be published by Square Enix, along with a separate unannounced VR game, refers to as Project Biofrost. Both have been canceled. They've laid off over 30 developers working on the unannounced Square Enix game last January. The studio is working on multiple projects this year, including Gears of War ED and an unannounced game using PlayStation IP. So they have a bunch of other stuff on the table. Gears of War ED, not to be confused with the Gears of War remaster that is coming out in August. This is like the prequel Gears of War game that is being worked on at Microsoft. I just want to search up People Can Fly and see if I could get more information on all their projects that are actively being worked on. Yeah, so there's one game being published by Krafton. That's the publisher of PUBG. Um, Yeah, one game being published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, which is interesting. I actually didn't know this before this episode. It's called Project Delta right now. Yeah, this Project Bison, which is the VR game, I think has been canceled. Lost Rift at Windows. No, I don't know what that is. Yeah, but then co-developed with the Coalition Gears of War ED. So that is that's unfortunate, but it looks like they have their handful anyway. Yeah. Did you play Outriders at all?
No, I didn't.
Do you remember what Outriders is?
I honestly don't. It's like I literally cannot recall like what this would have looked like.
It looks a lot like Gears of War, but in a more like space shootery thing. I feel like. Well,
I mean, Gears of War is pretty space shootery.
Yeah, it is. Never mind.
Yeah.
I get it. It was more. It's not more of the setting. It's more of the color palette. I would say is a little different.
Okay.
We basically have confirmation, if anyone was still guessing, that the Persona 4 remake, similar to the Persona 3 remake, is happening. And of course, we got that confirmation. Then none other than a voice actor talking more than they should be, but Gary Lewenthal, I believe his name Yuri Lewenthal, the Persona 4 actor who I don't know much about Persona 4. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who he voices in the original. Basically said he's not going to be in the remake, and he basically begged Atlas to put him in the remake. For those who don't know, Yuri Lowenthal is the voice actor for Peter Parker in Spider-Man. I believe there was a character change. Do you remember Spider-Man 2018 on the PS4, and then when they moved it over to PS5 and they added the ray tracing, they changed the actual actor?
Oh, it wasn't just the character model? I thought it was a character model too.
No, yeah.
Mainly.
I meant it was, I meant that, yeah.
Yeah, the character model. Not the character model. Voice didn't change though, right?
Ooh, good point. Yeah, you're right. The voice didn't change, yeah. So he must have been the voice in both of them. But yeah, he's the voice of Peter Parker in the Insomniac games, Spider-Man's. So I guess he was in Persona 4, and basically he's asking Atlas to put him in the game. And he tweeted, and for those who keep asking, no, I will not be returning as Yosuke for Persona 4 Remake. I asked, maybe I even begged, but they didn't want me to come back. And then the same week, we got confirmation from another actor that she won't reprise her role in the Persona 4 Remake. Her character is Chie, Chie. I mean, we've been getting a lot of news about this kind of trickling through this Persona 4 Remake, but it sounds like it's all but probably going to happen. And it looks like they're doing an entirely different voiceover for it. I am not sure why, but...
I mean, AI voice?
No. You think?
I don't think they legally can, but who knows? Maybe they... Like, do they... What happens? Can they just reuse their old voice lines? Is that a thing?
I think maybe... Do you think it might be just like a technology thing, just because the original game is from like 2008 and it's been X amount of years, and maybe the audio, like the technology is different, so you need to like re-record stuff?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't understand much about audio.
Yeah, I don't know too much about voice acting, how it would work. But
have you played Persona 4?
I have not. It's very old.
Are you a Persona person?
I am, though. Yeah. Persona 5 was great. I loved it.
Did you play Persona 3 Reload when that came out? Like,
I haven't had a chance. Yeah. Like, that's not even top of my list for what I need to get through. So,
yeah, fair enough. I did play a little bit of Persona 3. You remember when they remastered Persona 3 and Persona 4 before outright making Persona 3 like a year after? I believe like it was in 2022 when they remastered both of them for like modern day consoles.
Yeah, I think I remember
and then
that.
Put them on Xbox.
Yeah. I was going to say Xbox.
I played a little bit of Persona 3 Reload, or Persona 3, not Reload, because Reload was,
Yeah, it wasn't out yet.
It's Persona 3 Portable. Play a little bit of on Xbox, but I just can't do it, man. I can't do all the audio. I can't do all the dialogue. I can't do
like there's a lot of systems on there that make it kind of like I don't know, like you want to take the most advantage of it, but then like you have to like almost read a guide in order to take the most advantage of it, because then you have to like choose the right dialogue so that you can increase certain stats so that you don't get locked out of certain things in the future. Yeah, it like snowballs basically, I find.
I've tried a few Persona games, but just it's not for me. We have a release date for Pokemon Legends ZA, Derwin. Are you excited? You're finally going to get your hands on your Pokemon game. Coming out October 16. This makes it the game, the furthest game out that we have a release date for, aside from GTA 6 with their May whatever 2026 release date. Coming out with a Switch 2 edition as well, confirmed. Yeah, so there you have it. That is one of the kind of mystery games that we've been waiting for a release date for, the other being Metroid Prime 4. So I wonder where that's going to land, because that's still for this year. We have Donkey Kong Bonanza in July. Or I guess Kirby Air Riders is also supposed to come out this year. And
Yeah.
the Hyrule Warriors game 2 is also supposed to come out this year. So I'm curious where they all land this holiday season. But
Yeah. It
for
might
you
be real
Pokemon stickers,
competitive, but I mean, they're all kind of like very different games for
yeah.
for potentially different people, right?
You excited for Pokemon ZA, Darren? Are you going to buy Pokemon ZA? Are you going to wait for reviews? Are you going to see
I
gameplay?
might wait. I don't know. Like I was more hyped for it, assuming that it was going to be like a Switch 2, like full native game. But then when it was announced that it wasn't, man,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then like seeing the gameplay, like it's you're in the city, and it just seems like, there's like certain things that irk me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't
this
know.
might be a maybe cop depending on how good the reviews are. Like I didn't mind Arceus. I think Arceus was a change in the right direction for the Pokemon company, but
I agree,
yeah,
but I
we'll
don't
have
feel
to
like
see.
this is a much of a progression on Arceus, which is kind of weird. No?
I mean, Pokemon games haven't been innovative, or else they would
I
have made
agree.
Claire obscure.
Claire Obscure Pokemon. So we got a release date for that, but there is a game which we already had a release date for, which starts to sound like it's a little shaky, and maybe it's not going to come out then. Marathon Marketing has reportedly been canceled, and game delay rumors circulate. Of course, Marathon about
Wait,
2 3
what
weeks.
game again is it? You mean
Marathon.
Concord 2?
Oh no, 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 no! Don't say that! Don't say that! Don't say that! Don't say that! I have hopes for this game. Anyway, of course, backtracking, Marathon got news of its release date about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. We got a first look at what it looked like with a cinematic trailer and some gameplay. Then there's been some closed beta testing, which sure anyone from the public could get into, or I don't know if it was just kind of
I think there was a
by
sign
invite.
up, right?
Yeah, there was a sign up.
Or like was it through their Discord? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like some people were coming back saying it's got like the Bungie, like juice there, but it's not fully cooked. Then Arc Raiders came out, which is also another extraction shooter with their beta, and that seems to be doing better with Marathon. So there was questions about how it was going to do. The release date was September 23rd, and then last week we talked about the plagiarism accusations. So yeah, it's not looking good. Apparently, yeah, this was reported in an episode of the Sacred Symbols podcast. Colin Moriarty, a former IGN worker there, said I was told by someone familiar with marketing plans in a key overseas market that they are now no plans to do paid marketing for Marathon at all. This sounds like a delay to me. If it's true, it does not like it does not. I don't think Sony would leave this game out to dry.
Yeah,
And
I
just
think they're
release it
just
no
waiting
marketing.
for a good time to release like a, hey, we're now pushing back release after the whole like artist debacle, right?
Yeah.
Like let the news cycle refresh, and then let people forget, and then they just announce a later release date and hope that they can figure out their legal issues with this artist.
Just feel like this game has more issues now than just that. It's just bad publicity.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if they sort this out
I
with
mean, I
Arc
think
Raiders coming out,
what's more important is is it a fun game to play? Like, will people want to play this? Like, at the end of the day, they could have like really bad publicity, and then if the game plays well and people love it, then it doesn't.
Do you think this game comes out this year?
It might be a later release this year because it looks like they're ready to like the fact that they're doing public or beta testing with like the public. Pretty telltale sign that
But
they
what if the
won't
beta
change
test?
too much.
What if they conclude from it that it's not good? Maybe we should delay it.
I don't know.
What about cancellation? Do you think it could get
I
canceled?
don't think it'll be canceled. I think it'll still
think
come
it's way
out.
too-
What?
It's way too far along.
Yeah, it's way too far along, and I feel like this game has a better chance to do well than Concord does.
Agreed. Yeah, especially because it's Bungie, and the
Yeah,
art style looks
exactly,
way better
right?
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't like I can't speak for what it will be in terms of like the live service aspect of it. Like it just doesn't seem as like money grabby right
Do
off
you
the
think that?
bat.
Do you think they go free to play instead?
I don't think so. I think they're committed on this premium price tag that they want to tag
$50.
on.
Hmm.
I think there would have to be a lot. I think it like potentially could be announced as a $50 game, but then like in the next year, like during its anniversary or something like that, it goes free to play. They did that with TF2. Like, not. I'm not like directly comparing it. Like, but TF2 was originally like a paid game, and then eventually like came free to play. It's just the issue with free to play sometimes. Like, I guess this probably will be like a PS5 exclusive. So sometimes just you get the worst people. Oh, it's not going to be?
No, it's on Xbox. It's on everything.
Oh, it's on Xbox too. Yeah, you just kind of get like kind of the scum of the earth people.
I mean, the paid models has worked with Helldivers, so I don't know, man. I really am rooting for this game. I'm pretty sensitive to like visuals and art style, and I do judge a book by its cover a lot of times for games, and my interest a lot of times peaks for just basically what something looks like. And I really like this art style. I really like the vibe. But from what I'm hearing with, Arc Raiders coming out, and then Arc Raiders, people are saying is a better extraction shooter. It's a funner experience. And this just kind of feeling like it's missing something. I don't know. I'm kind of worried for Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what came out this week that I am not worried for? And
I mean,
I
believe you're worried about some things about it, like whether or not you can get past another boss.
I'm worried about yeah. But I'm worried about like I'm saying I'm not worried about it making money.
Yes,
I am worried about me playing it. Elden Ring Nightreign has sold 2 million copies on day one, and apparently has a strong start on Steam. 100,000 concurrent players, even though it's been getting some pretty mixed reviews for a lot of things, which I will discuss when we talk about what we've been playing this week. Of course, Elden Ring Nightreign is the standalone multiplayer game in the Elden Ring universe, which reuses a lot of Elden Ring assets and is effectively a hybrid of Fortnite, a roguelike, and Elden Ring put together in one kind of game. It's a very strange game. I've never played anything like this. It doesn't really fit in a genre easily. It's a weird idea, but I think on the tail of how well Elden Ring was sales wise and the hype for that game, this was going to do good regardless of kind of what the reviews came out. The reviews came out to like a 78 or 79 on Metacritic. Some mixed reviews on Steam. It's definitely not a game of the year banger like Elden Ring, but
I don't think this was developed to be one, though.
No, I don't think so either. I think I heard Miyazaki was saying this was developed as a attempt to get new developers in the at FromSoft to get their hands on something that's less consequential, so that they could be ready to work on something more consequential. So you get new devs working on this Nightreign thing with new
okay, assets. So like a training project of sorts.
It's almost like a training project, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's not at the helm for this project. And so, yeah, it's like, here you go. Here's some assets. Here's the idea we have. Do this.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, it is a very interesting idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And From Software, I mean, in this landscape of games taking 5, 6, 7 years to develop, and then sometimes getting canceled, and us not seeing things anymore, and the costs of development going up, From Software. And I know the reason why they are able to do this is because they do cut some corners, but they have been able to have a very good, steady flow of releases. If you think about the last 5 years, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice 2019, Elden Ring 2022, Elden Ring DLC, which is basically a full game, 2024,
Mm-hmm.
this game 2025, and now Duskblood's coming out. Or I missed 2023 Armored Core, and now Duskblood's coming out in 2026. I don't know a lot of developers that have been pushing games out like that, especially AAA. Yeah. So that's Elden Ring Nightreign. We talked last week about a beloved game to me and how it was going to PlayStation and how I was really hoping it would get a physical. And this week we got confirmation that Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is getting a physical version alongside its PS5 port. And comically, it is getting it from Limited Run Games. A first-party Microsoft game needs Limited Run Games to publish a physical version of their game. Notably, Limited Run Games was going to publish a physical version of what was that game that came out? That was really good. Hi-Fi Rush,
Mm-hmm.
as well when it got a PS5 port, but we haven't actually seen that physical yet. Last thing we heard from Limited Runs that it was still it was still happening, but we don't know. I don't know. We don't have a date from when this is happening, but I'm excited to see what they come up with, and if they have a special edition, I'll be really excited to get my hands on that. So good for me.
We'll see you spend some money. That's what I love seeing.
Yep. This next news story, I'm not seeing any full confirmation of it online. It's just rumors. So maybe hold your horses and don't get too excited on if it's, actually happening or not. But word on the street is Xbox has put their handheld console on hold. This is not the
Asus ROG
Asus
Ally one.
ROG
Yeah.
Ally one, yeah. That's slated to come out this year. This is the one that was supposed to come out with the launch of their next console, which would have been presumably in 2027. Yeah.
That's a little bit
lots of articles about
concerning
this.
if it's true, though. They're behind the game for PS5. Right? PS5, I don't think there was any interruption announcement for PS5. Or
this is not an interruption to their actual whatever their next console is going to be.
Yeah, but in their handheld space, right? Because it was announced that both Sony and Microsoft would be entering this handheld race.
Correct.
So to speak.
But Microsoft, we actually got a date. It was supposed to come out as part of the next console cycle. I don't think that was the case with Sony. I think Sony was a little bit behind on that one. Yeah, they want to focus on improving Windows 11 while relying on companies like Asus to release Xbox-branded gaming handhelds. Yeah, they've put a pause. This is not a delay. This is a pause, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have sorry, I'm just looking at the news. You also don't have the news about how Windows 11 is not great for handheld gaming.
Yes. Actually, we might as well you bring that up. Since you bring that up, I did watch a video for that. I didn't have it here, but yeah.
It was on the Legion Go S, and it was done by one of the YouTubers, and they were comparing the performance between the Legion Go S. There's a Windows variant, which is actually more expensive because of the Windows licensing, and then what does it run? Valve OS?
It's basically Steam OS. Steam OS. It's the same OS as it's Linux based, so it's the same thing as a Steam Deck.
Yeah, and the Steam Deck destroyed the Windows variant of it.
Yeah. So do you remember what do they call that conference for the technology that happens in January?
I want to say CDC, but it's not. It's not the Centers for Communicable Disease.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
it's not WWDC. That's the Mac. That's the Apple one.
CGC or GC. But anyway, at that conference, Lenovo showed off their next handheld console. Lenovo already has a handheld.
CES. Sorry,
CES.
CES.
Yeah. So Lenovo already has a handheld console, and that is the Lenovo Legion Go, which is the one that has the detachable Joy-Cons, kind of like a Switch. And then they were releasing this Lenovo Legion Go S. They showed it off at CES. It wasn't exactly an upgrade in all regards to the Lenovo Legion Go, but it was better than it in some ways and not as good as it in other ways. But they announced that Steam OS will be on this product, and they will be releasing two variants of that product, a Windows variant and a Steam OS variant. The Windows variant came out in January after CES. It came out not looking great. Its battery life was garbage. It had a lot of problems. And then they released the SteamOS one, which for the listeners, it's exactly the same technology in the two. Theoretically, the physical hardware in the two is the same. They just have two different operating systems. And the Lenovo Legion Go S with the Steam operating system, because maybe Windows OS, like there's stuff that's happening in the background to keep it running, it is affecting its ability to run these games. So these Steam OS versions of these games, like the Steam OS version of this same piece of hardware, is better with on the Steam OS version. It's the same hardware, exactly the same tech. Different operating systems the games are running are better than the on the Steam OS. So yeah, I think was the title of the video you watched. Windows was the problem after all.
Yeah. Something all along or something like that, right?
Yeah. That was the video.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. I didn't see that coming. Like I was like, what?
I like had an idea. I was like, I know Windows is kind of like bloaty, and really, if you think about it, SteamOS is developed to play video games. Like, let's be real about it.
Yeah.
Like Microsoft develops like Windows 11 as like a multi-use. Some people use it for like work and productivity. Like some people for gaming. Like it's I get it. But like, yeah, if you're going to develop something purely for gaming, it makes sense to, use something that will fully optimize this hardware.
100%. Yeah. I'm like more happy with my Steam Deck purchase, like day in, day out. Like finding this and then finding out Xbox is canceling their first party one anyway. And I'm just like,
well, yeah, the only regret is you should have bought it earlier.
Exactly. And what I noticed from that video is he was saying that the Steam Deck, while it plays like less demanding games, it has a battery life than both the Windows and the Steam OS, Lenovo Legion Go S. It's capable of going for longer. So, which is what I'm really playing on the less demanding.
Yeah, like an indie game player, basically, right?
But now that you brought that up, this week we got a native app for NVIDIA GeForce Now on the Steam Deck, which I've yet to try. But for those who don't know, NVIDIA GeForce Now is like a streaming service whereby you play your games on the cloud. And it's through NVIDIA. So basically you own a game on Steam or whatever, right? It knows that you own this game and then it'll play it for you on the cloud and then it'll, stream it to your device.
Yeah.
And apparently like it fixes like the performance will be crazy on the Steam Deck as long as you have good connection and the battery life is like it doesn't affect your battery life as much as playing the game natively.
Yeah, it's like playing a video, like more or less.
Yeah.
I think the only issue I had was like input lag. So like for certain games I could play fine, but like I wouldn't want to play like COD or something like that on there. Or like
I did try it years ago. I tried the service and yeah, there was notable input and lag. But I'm curious. I think I'm gonna test it out on the
Yeah. You should put it head to head against the Xbox Game Pass service. The cloud-based service as well.
Speaking of this news, I'd like to like point out something. This is not the first time where Xbox in this console generation has seemed to back out of something that they were planning to do and shift its focus elsewhere. If you recall, maybe in the 2021, 2022, there was talk about them making basically like a Fire Stick or a Roku stick for as an Xbox that would play cloud games, and you would connect it to your TV, and it was like something like $100 or something like that with some, and then and they canceled that plan altogether because they said it was not financially feasible. And after that, we started seeing these apps on first Samsung TVs, now LG TVs.
Yeah, they've done it. They've done it basically. Yeah. Does the Fire Stick have Game Pass like that?
I don't know, but whatever their proprietary Fire Stick that they were gonna make,
because basically Amazon made it for them. Yeah. The Xbox app is available for Amazon Fire TV devices.
There you go. Yeah.
So yeah, they did it. They just did it in a roundabout way, but they technically did it.
But this is what this sounds like to me. This whole like, it's like, well, maybe let's just not make these and get Asus and whatever to make them for us. Brand them Xbox. There'll be a Game Pass thing downloaded on it from day one. It'll be a Windows thing, and you'll get a free subscription of Game Pass for a month when you buy it or something like that.
Yeah, for 3 months or whatever.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of... Because also I feel like they're going the PC route. Like I feel like the next Xbox is just going to be like a PC in a console form factor. And you just plug it to your TV. And you could probably download Steam on it and Epic Game Store and whatever. But when you first boot it up, it'll just bombard you with like the Microsoft
Xbox,
Store and the Xbox Game Pass app. Yeah.
That's so funny, but we'll see.
Yeah. Earlier in the show, you mentioned your favorite game of all time, Concord. And recently, Concord's developer's commemorative release plaque is being auctioned at a Goodwill store in the United States. This commemorative release plaque is basically something that they give, a memento they give to the developers, saying congratulations on this game releasing. There's like a disc of the game with a poster, and it has the name of the developer, and her name is Chelsea Grace. And it's the worldwide launch for Concord, August 23rd, 2024. This is really weird. It's apparently 34 bids right now, sitting at $2,500. That's all we really know. We don't know if this is something that Chelsea Grace herself is just auctioning off. She's like, screw this game. F this. I don't want this in my house. I can make some money off of it. Or if this just never made it to her to start off with or something like that. Like how this ended up here, we don't know. If she just donated it or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like that's plausible. She might have like just put it into a box and then didn't realize and then taken the box to a Goodwill, you know?
Yeah. Maybe she's
or like it might not even have been her. It might have been like a maid or like they were just doing some house cleaning or something like that, right? Like it's not the strangest thing to see come up at a Goodwill.
I feel like we're gonna get more news about this. Maybe somebody will reach out to her and we'll get the full story.
Yeah, like it's more interesting to me whenever like sometimes like prototypes end up in like the Goodwills and the thrift stores.
Maybe one day I'll get that Sony Nintendo at a the console that they made for Nintendo before they Nintendo's like, if you were
maybe not here, but like in Japan, if you ever moved
there's
to
like
Japan.
I think there's only like 100 of them or something.
Very limited.
Yeah. I for one still have my sealed copy of Concord, which I rushed to Walmart to buy after Sony announced that they were taking the game offline and preventing you from purchasing it and pulling them from all shelves. I ran to Walmart, bought a copy.
Have you checked the price on it?
I don't think it went up that much. These things, I feel like they have like a peak that's like immediately after, and then they kind of
until it dies down. Oh, dude. Actually, no. This is an open box. An open box is 23 Canadian, but then a sealed one is 33 Canadian.
Yeah, that was not my best investment. But look at this graded one.
Who got this grade?
He got it graded, sealed. Concord.
Dude, you need to get yours graded. Man.
I'm gonna get mine graded, bro. Holy smokes!
I didn't even know you could grade video games.
I've never seen anyone grade a PS5 game. I've
Oh,
seen like
dude, there's a
PS1 games
few.
graded.
There's a few. There's another one. This one's a A plus, and it's selling for $103.
I have the PSA 10 or the CGC 10. Let's go. Yeah, but the ungraded ones, the price is not looking great.
Yeah,
Probably not my best purchase. Probably should have just went
Big
back and
L.
got my money. Yeah.
Big L. I wonder if you
Yeah.
could still, because this is recalled, right?
I don't even think I have the receipt or anything. Cyberpunk 2 is now in pre-production, CD Projekt Red says. Oh my god. So exciting. When are we going to see Cyberpunk 2, Derwin?
Not anytime soon. But maybe, who knows? Summer Games Fest.
Summer Games Fest,
Delulu.
baby. Delulu land.
I'm Delulu.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a full trailer with gameplay for Cyberpunk 2, bro.
Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077 too, yeah. Does that make it Cyberpunk 4077? That was a dumb joke.
What? Wouldn't it be 78? It's like, do I have to play all the other Clair Obscur Expedition 30, 30
Yeah.
0 to, oh no, yeah, original to 32 in order to understand 33?
Yeah, you have to play
But then
them
it's
all.
actually reversed because it counts down. So do I need to learn?
Claire Expedition 34. Somebody goes to the store, buys 33 first. He's like, dude, what the hell? This is like, are these all prequels? No, these came out first. Expedition 35, 34. Have you seen some of the expeditioners, like the way they die, they leave their journals? It's like,
Dude,
they
was
died
it,
on a
is
poison
this
mushroom.
Is this 60? That's the one where they wanted to strong arm that the barrier naked or something?
Yeah. They're like working out and stuff.
Yeah. That's me.
And they
I'd
like
be
they swam back and forth to the continent. Yeah.
Yeah. Just casually,
Casually. Speaking of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, apparently, according to the dev, they hit 3.3 million sales after 33 days of the game being out, which you can't make up. Exactly 3.3 million on day 33 after the release. So good for them. Derwin, have you been seeing this Star Wars Battlefront, popularity pickup recently on Steam? And
it was due to like some sort of tweet, right, where they wanted to like remake it or something, or like get into the whole franchise.
There was like, some of the ex devs were like, or the devs for this were like, yo, we should just like get together and make this game again. Which like, obviously there's more to it than that, but and don't expect it anytime soon. But it smashed all time Steam numbers because of the social media campaign. Yeah. Have you played this game?
Dude, I have.
How is it?
Or was it the first one or the second one? I remember playing one of the Battlefronts. It was weird. You like randomly sometimes get spawned as like Darth Vader or like Luke, and of course it's super fun when you actually get spawned as one of them because you're very OP. But like otherwise, you're kind of like just shooting people with the laser guns. So, I mean, it's fun, but I didn't sink a lot of time into it. I never really got into it.
A friend of mine, and ex coworker, we one time we chatted, and I was like, he I didn't know he gamed. He was like my buddy from soccer. We played soccer for, some time in university together, and he one day I talked to him like, yo, do you game at all or whatever? He's like, yeah, dude. And I'm thinking this guy like plays FIFA or something. He's like, no, I don't touch that because we knew each other through soccer, and he used to play this game like crazy. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna message him right now. He used to play this game like crazy. He used to play it every night, and that was like 3-4 years after it came out. Like he was a big fan of the game, and a big fan of Star Wars. And I never played it at the time because I just didn't really understand Star Wars and didn't know anything about Star Wars. So yeah, kind of crazy. But have you seen gameplay for it right now? It holds up pretty like good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good looking game even back then.
I'm surprised how visual, like this is 2017. It looks really good. So
yeah, no, I like the graphics were never a complaint for me. I just thought it was kind of like it gets boring. Like it's your typical like kind of like first person shooter game, like a multiplayer game. So I don't know.
yeah,
It still didn't have. It still probably doesn't have a story mode, right?
I don't know. I thought it was just a multiplayer
Yeah, I
game.
think that was like one of the big complaints when it first came out. People were like, "Oh my god, there's like no story mode." Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be the one to ask. But so apparently, Switch 2 is already out in the wild. Of course, people already have managed to somehow get copies of this thing like w- weeks before it comes out. Apparently, you can't play them because there's a mandatory day one update that's locking people out. If you don't do this update, which hasn't gone live, you can't play this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so
Um,
what it does, from what I understand, is it locks Switch One emulation, and of course, all the Switch Two games are not out yet, right?
yeah, they're not physically out yet, so
Hmm.
you can't play anything with this with these switches. But there's been videos of people like doing like booting up, like recording the booting up screen and how it looks like the first time you go online. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think there was photos of them at Target in the US or something, like just behind like the
Hmm.
cage, like 2 weeks before they're out. They're just sitting there and you could just see it switch to. So yeah. Uh people of course get excited for this kind of stuff.
Dude, we
We
are
have got
3 days away.
yeah, I
Three
mean it's on Monday,
days.
Tuesday, Wednesday night, yeah.
Oh, just a heads up for all the listeners. If you are in Canada and you're planning to switch it or trade in your Switch One, you got to do it on June 3rd. The $50 bonus kicks in, and you can't do it on launch, like the launch night or whatever.
You're talking about doing it through EB Games.
Yeah, yeah. So sorry,
Yeah.
EB Games for trade in.
Um Also check your emails because apparently some people have been getting like their online pre-orders canceled
Yeah.
through
Dude, you know what's
Best
strange?
Buy
I haven't gotten
or
any
Walmart.
shipping emails. Like we're 3 days away, and I haven't gotten any shipping details.
Because yours are all from the what do you call it? That's right. Yours are all through
No,
like
one's
you
Walmart and one's GameStop.
well, Walmart was the one that was apparently canceling people the
Yeah, I
most.
haven't gotten one from either.
Um the one we're going to pick up, I'm pretty confident we're gonna get
But yeah, that one's
on
like
the
that one's locked in for sure.
yeah, but the online ones, I don't have an online one. I couldn't even get one. You were the one who got all the online ones.
Oh,
But you
I did get I do have a pending charge on my Walmart now.
I did get some accessories on Walmart. What was the accessories I bought? Didn't I buy something stupid on
But
Walmart?
you got that stupid wheel that you're
Oh.
never gonna use, man.
You're right, I got the wheels.
This guy's cooked.
I got the wheels. I couldn't get anything else. I was so pissed. I was like,
You just
F
anger
this, I'll
bought
just
the
buy the
wheel.
wheels. And good news as well. Apparently, when the Switch first, like when we had the Switch Direct, Switch 2 Direct the first time, there were some concerns about backwards compatibility, and a lot of games were like unverified, and some weren't like working as well. But they're saying Switch 2 has no issues playing the vast majority of Switch 2 games tested so far, or Switch 1 games tested so far.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the
so
majority that people, or like some of the ones that people will commonly use, is like the streaming like apps was like
yeah,
kind of like, and that's simply because from what I understand is they need DRM. So of course that app is not going to just natively work. There will probably be some sort of update or a different version of the app, so like
okay,
Hulu and stuff like that, and like Crunchyroll or whatever.
okay.
Yeah. So I assume it's coming, but not that most people use their Switch 2 as like a streaming device for movies and
Did you see the
videos.
thing about? Do you see the thing about like uploading photos and stuff like that?
Well, they finally added cloud sharing, right, or like automatic uploads to your
Yeah, like you
to your
could
app
upload
or
to your
whatever on your
phone
phone.
on your app. I saw that. I was like, should I put it on the show notes? I'm like, no, this is stupid.
We mentioned it.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what else is updated? The Nintendo Music app.
What did they add?
Oh, they've been adding like pretty regular updates for new songs and
I think
stuff.
pretty
Yeah.
steadily they've been adding
Yeah,
updates
yeah.
for
I thought
songs and
they
stuff like that.
recently added like the Mario Wonder stuff or something like that. I can't
Did
remember.
they?
Yeah, I don't
Mario
know
Wonder
what's
had
on
good
there
music.
anymore, but I mean,
Who cares? I mean, just freaking throw your stuff on Spotify. Like, really? We need to download an app. Like, who the heck is in charge there, bro?
they got
What
to
the heck did they
protect
think?
their IP, man.
Jeez, man. They're a weird company, man.
Hmm.
Anyway, with all these talks of these consoles coming out, and I know we talked a lot about price increases, but I thought this was funny. Okay, I know this is so Sony is having their state of or days of
Days
play,
of play.
which is their promotion that they do every year, where a lot of games go on sale, a lot of physical first party games go on sale, a lot of accessories go on sale, and subscriptions for PS Plus go on sale, and of course this year we got consoles on sale.
Yeah,
It's not
it's
anything
like they're
crazy.
it's like they're equivalent to the Valve summer sale, right?
Yeah, what's the Valve one called that has a specific name?
I think it's just called the Valve summer sale. No.
But anyway, not a big deal, not really a news story, but it's funny because PS5 consoles are on sale, and the PS5 Pro in Canada is like $50 less, I think, or is it $80 less? It's like $900.
Yeah, there was like a few ways you can combo it out. I think there was like on Costco there was a combo with the controller and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, but I don't think we're picking up one of these. Did you ever get to try your buddy's PS5 Pro?
No, I didn't. I should ask him to bring it. I really want to try. What was the game that really looked best on it? It was Final Fantasy VII
GT.
Rebirth.
Yeah, wasn't it
The one where there's the biggest
GT7 as well?
contrast. No, I
GT7
forget.
has 8K, but we don't have an 8K
But
TV.
GT7 already looked really good on the base PS5. I'm just saying, like, there's
Mhm.
like Rebirth had that whole fuzzy effect. It was not, I heard like the difference between the PS5 version and the Pro version of Rebirth is like significant. Same with I think Assassin's Creed Shadows had a really good PS5 Pro version.
Mhm.
No, I should actually ask him to bring it over next time.
Summer Games Fest time.
Ooh, yeah, bring it over while we play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So that is it for news stories this week. Again, Wednesday, we're going to go grab that Switch 2. Unfortunately, Derwin, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the whole Friday thing that we planned. It's going to have to be probably a Saturday. So, which sucks
That's
because
okay.
it would have been nice to play it all day Friday and then watch Summer Games Fest and then record an episode after. We could talk about our Switch 2 impressions and
Yeah.
the
I
Summer Games
actually
Fest.
think I work on the Friday too. I think I swapped with someone by accident, but
Okay.
that's okay. I
Well,
mean, I'm if you're down, I'd be down to just do a reaction video for Summer Games Fest.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I'll
or
still
we could
be
just
off.
save it for the weekend kind of
I'll
deal.
still be off that day, so I could probably still watch it in person. But
Mhm.
like it won't be the whole like come over in the morning, play Switch for
Yeah. It
4
won't
or
be
5
the
hours, and
sweaty
then
Nintendo
yeah,
date that we had planned.
no, it's not gonna be that. But we could do it before the Xbox showcase on the Sunday, so
Yeah. I see that. Xbox might be cooking still.
I think they're gonna be cooking. Let's get into the games we've been playing this week, and then from there hop on to our predictions for the Summer Games Fest. Do you want to start? Or should I start?
Are we gonna do? Are we doing this as a separate episode?
No, we'll add this as part of this news episode, and then we'll
Okay.
talk about the actual.
Can we like pause real quick? I gotta do this Nintendo Switch up thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Give me like a few minutes.
sure.
I gotta just get it going.
For sure.
Hold on.
Okay, Derwin, let us get into the games we've been playing this last week. Do you want to start, or shall I?
I can start real quick. I'm probably like gonna be a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So I'm back on Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Finished the DLC, so Iki Island.
Nice. Okay, which I haven't done. Okay.
Yeah. I like this. I like this kind of DLC. Like it adds a lot of background character
Mm-hmm.
for our
Sakai?
main lead, Mr. Jin, right?
Yeah, Jin Sakai. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jin Sakai. It talks about his time as a kid following his dad in Iki Island.
Okay.
And basically it helps him come to terms of failing his dad.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, like yeah, it and then it also has like forgiveness. I don't want to ruin the story for you, but I think you should play it.
I do intend to play it. It's just one of those things where when a DLC comes out a year after a game is out, and you kind of moved on to other things.
Yeah. But you should revisit it. I think you'll
I-
really enjoy the story, like the bit of story it adds.
How many hours do you think it was?
honestly, if you actually just play the storyline and you don't care about like all the other stuff that's happening, pretty quick.
It was 10 hours.
Yeah, maybe like 5 hours. I
Okay.
explored every bit of the island basically.
And how much do you think that was?
It was definitely longer. I think it was like closer to 8 hours. I want to
Well,
say
that's still not crazy.
8-10 hours. It's still pretty long in terms of like I was eager to get back to the main story. I entered it by accident,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. How long to beat says Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island is 5 hours for the main story, exactly what you said, and it's like 13 and a half for a completionist run
Yeah.
of that place.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
actually that's not a lot. For some reason I thought it was a bigger expansion.
No, it's pretty I think it's pretty like condensed in terms of like okay, so the main story, yeah, but there's like certain cutscenes that you want to find throughout the island too.
Yeah.
So like realistically, I want to say like the story, if you want to actually get like a good feel watching all the cutscenes and stuff to find them, maybe like a little bit closer to like yeah, like added give or take another hour or two, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because you want to like there's certain things you want to like find like it's like a banner and then it like brings you back to this flashback of like you as a kid talking to your dad.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and then like it adds like horse combat as well. So like your horse now learns how to charge at
So you're
people.
not just swinging your
Yeah,
sword at the
yes, you're
side.
not
Yeah.
swinging your sword stupidly, and then it also gives you the ability to like hold ammo inside
For
for like your
inside your
ninja.
horse for your
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for your ninja weapons or whatever,
Oh, dude, I don't touch those
or
with
your
ghost
ghost
weapons.
weapons. Oh, sorry, you're an honorable samurai.
I'm honor. I played that whole game full honor. That was one of my criticisms because like it didn't change the story at all. When
Yeah,
I played that game
whichever
fully,
way
but
you played.
dude, I literally would show up to a camp and I'd like slow walk through the front door. I'd literally slow walk through the front door and do like the standoff with like the first guy
Mm-hmm.
until I kill him, and then like it's just like, come on, fight me, bro. I never like went over a roof or anything, unless those few missions where it like forces you to. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
like went
There's a
over a
few.
roof and like threw like a smoke bomb on someone at all. No, I was like in my head, I'm like, no, this is honor and shit like that. But then the game, like we are
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
There, that doesn't really give you a choice.
Yeah. It's assumed that you are going to be using some sort of those special weapons, no matter what,
Yeah,
or those
yeah.
sneaky, unhonorable.
And those weren't my favorite part of the game anyway. Just kind of it made it feel like just a regular Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah. I usually hate forced stealth in games. I don't know
Yeah,
if you feel the
I don't
same
think it
way.
was. I don't think it was a really interesting stealth. Yeah. So I much preferred the combat system. So I would just walk through the front door. I really loved the combat system in that game, and I played it on a harder difficulty. And in that game, the harder difficulties, it's more like a one per one hit. Like enemies die easier, but also you do. And I would like always have my ghost outfit everywhere. And then as soon as I show up to the camp, I just go in the setting, change it, and then put on the because the
Yeah.
ghost outfit is like better for exploration.
It's not Ghost. It's the
It's the
Wanderer.
wanderer's outfit.
The Traveler's outfit or whatever.
It's
Yeah,
better
yeah.
for
I
exploration.
hate that. I hate having to switch the outfits all the time.
I would just do that. I wish they had that thing. Do you know that in some games where like the outfit you're wearing visually is this,
Yeah.
but the
It does, but
stats
it
are
has
this
different
outfit.
stats. Yeah.
Yeah, the stats are this
And it
outfit.
introduces some new armor for you too. So there's like a special armor
Cool.
set that it only allows you to perfect parry, and it increases the window for your perfect parry as well. So
Ooh,
if you're
that's not bad.
really good at parrying, like you eat this up.
Yeah, not bad. That was Ghost of Tsushima is one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. Easily. Like I loved that game. And I
Okay,
was very hyped for that game.
question:
Yes.
Ghost of Tsushima or Clair Obscur?
That's very hard. I'd have to really sit and think about it. And Clair Obscur is fresh in my mind, so I'm gonna like say Clair Obscur. But Ghost of Tsushima was something else, man. At the time, all I thought was about was Ghost of Tsushima. I was so hyped for that game. I haven't been hyped for a game like that in a long time. Like Ghost. There's maybe a handful of games where that hype was that level. Thing is, Clair Obscur, I didn't have hype for Clair Obscur because we didn't know what it was. It was just like, oh, this game's coming out. But
So
like
then
Ghost,
hype
dude.
happened like during and after the game.
Yeah. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I remember when they first showed it in E3 2018. I want to say E3 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been like E3 2016. I don't know. Anyway, and then I was like waiting for it. I'm like, when's it gonna come out? And I 100%ed that game aside from Iki Island, but it's time to go back. I think
Yeah,
it's
I think
really
it's time to go
before
back.
Ghost of Viote comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed like the story for it. Like it talks about his mother and
And
like
yeah, you don't really talk about that in the base game.
yeah,
His
yeah,
mom.
no, he talks about his like adventure with his mom, like his kind of like his relationship with his mom and how she was like yeah. Yeah, no,
Nice.
it's a great little addition. It's not just like some BS like, "Oh, here there's a new island that showed up. Come explore it," kind of deal, you know? There's
Mm.
actually like weight to it because you previously attempt like his dad previously attempted to, you know, take over this island from raiders.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so are you back to Act 2 of the game now?
Yes, I am. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I'm
That's a
man,
longer act, but yeah,
dude, I
pretty good.
literally you told me to just focus on those few things, and I literally can't, man. Like, I need to find out what these question marks are on the map.
I mean, fine. Yeah, like I don't think it's
Yeah,
a crazy amount of. It's not a very long game to 100% either. If you actually do want to go that way,
yeah, yeah.
like I think
I
I
just
probably did everything in the game like maybe less than 100 hours. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't think I'll be too absorbed by Mario Kart, so we'll see. I'm sure like the weekend will be like lots of like, hey, like let's check out Mario Kart and like come over and play and try it
Mario
out kind of
Kart's not a
deal.
game that you're gonna play every night, every day for
Mhm.
hundreds of hours. It's like it's a
I
fun
mean,
game at the end of the day.
no knock to you if you actually do that, but
Yeah, if
yeah,
you're a listener and you're like Mario Kart, this is my game of the year. I'm gonna be playing this every waking hour. Sure, but
yeah, yeah. But there are people that are like very, very serious competitively
yeah,
for that. So, you know, power to you, man. Power to you.
nice.
All right, let's hear it.
Have you been playing anything else first? I guess.
No, that is the only thing
Okay.
I've been playing Gardening Simulator Real Life Edition. Man. He's
Not a bad sim game. Yeah,
yeah,
we need you
yeah.
to. We're gonna need
The
you to
difficulty
review.
turned to max when it's 30 degrees.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot it was 30 degrees out yesterday because today's cold, man.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
chilly.
Yeah, it was like plus 30. Mosquitoes were out near the end of the day.
I had a few friends over for the Champions League final watching that, and we were on my deck, and we were literally like, it felt like a sauna because I had some of the curtains closed because so the glare doesn't go on the TV, and it was bad.
Hmm.
But then today I'm like shivering outside.
Yeah, yeah. I went for lunch earlier and then it was kind of like cold. It was raining for a little bit too.
It was, and it rained last night too. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have been playing the arguably the biggest release of the week, and we mentioned it at the top of the show. That is Elden Ring Nightreign, the multiplayer spin-off of Elden Ring. I would like to call it a Fortnite roguelike Elden Ring PvE game. This game, we talked about it as well on this show several months ago when I played the beta. Essentially, it is a trios only or a solo only. There's no duos or quads in this game. Cooperative player versus enemy game whereby you land on a map in a Fortnite like fashion, and there is a circle that closes, similar to battle royale games where there's a closing circle, and you have to go around a reused assets map of Elden Ring stuff where you fight some enemies, get some upgrades, make it to the end of the circle as it closes down, and fight a final boss. That is called day one. You do that cycle all over again for a day two, until which you fight a final boss on a day three, and that is a winning run. Again, describing it a very strange game. I don't know any game that is a hybrid of stuff like that that's out there. So I played on PS5 with my friends Mosey and Hamzi. Shout out to them. We had a double nighter LAN party on Friday night and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 in the morning and 2 in the morning, respectively. So we went in on these 2 days. PlayStation says I have about 10 hours into the game. Legendary night LAN party for sure. Off the top, high level thoughts about this game. I think From Software is a developer that gets away with a lot of BS and gets away with a lot of quality of life stuff because they have a cult following and because they make really good RPG games, and you can't talk about them. If you talk about them, the people with the pitchforks and the torches are going to come after you online. But there are glaring multiplayer functionality issues with this game. First off, no crossplay in 2025 is a crime. One of our friends is PC only, Mosey. He had to go borrow a PS5 from another friend to play this with us. Second of all, there is no voice chat in this game, which means if you're playing with randoms online, you cannot communicate with them easily. And not being able to communicate on Elden Ring Nightreign, I don't really know how you're going to win a run. Because I had 3 guys beside me on a LAN party. We couldn't win a run on our first night when we played for like 5-6 hours. So I don't know what they were thinking by not putting any voice chat in this game. This is like some Nintendo behavior. The game has no duos. So you're stuck in this weird situation where you either play by yourself or you play with 2 people in a random, and then that random has that whole voice chat problem. You cannot split your squad if you have 4 people into duos, because that's another problem we have. We actually have 4 of our buddies, 4 of us that have this game. And if you play solo, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you're going to buy Elden Ring Nightreign and you do not have a squad to play it with, that you're going to be on comms with, right now, based on the current situation, do not waste your time. You cannot play. I don't think you could play this game with randoms online. And you cannot play it solo. It is poorly balanced solo. It becomes extremely difficult. It is basically unplayable, I think, solo. Like from what I'm hearing, with trios, we're having as much tough time as we are. Solo is like not even a question. Don't bother. Don't try to solo this game. So yeah, no crossplay, no voice chat, poor balancing for solo, no duos, weird choices all around for this game that baffle my mind. But whatever. We are in a circumstance, me and my friends, where we're best set up. We have everybody on PlayStation. We have 3 people at least. We know each other, so we're on comms. We are in the best situation. This game is extremely hard, and we could not win a run the first night. And we beat the first boss on the second night run. So 5 hours of playing, and we couldn't get past this boss. The day-to-day cycle of this game is fun because it's Elden Ring. It's Elden Ring combat. You go around and you do Elden Ring stuff. But the difficulty and I think the roguelike elements, maybe this is yet to be seen. Maybe they get better down the line. But the roguelike elements are also kind of a head scratcher because after like that 5-hour play session, I did not feel I had any permanent upgrades going into the next sessions that were really making a difference for me. The only thing that we had going into the next play sessions that were making a difference for us was our actual knowledge from the previous play sessions of like what
So
to do.
no stats or anything like that.
Well, you do get stats. You do get like permanent upgrades that you take on and you permanently improve your character. But I don't think any of them were really like worth it or that important or that powerful or made a difference.
Okay.
And the RNG of like trying to get a good one was just like it didn't work.
Not ideal.
So really the way we won eventually is, we've done this 100, well, not 100 times, but 10 times at this point. We know where to go. We know where to go to get like upgrades. We know where to go to like get our flasks. We know where to go to like maybe look for some weapons. And then it was just a question after like a few runs. Like we could make it to the final boss every time. We just had trouble with the final boss. It's kind of annoying because you can't just like try him right away. You have to go through the whole run again, and you have like one shot at him. But yeah, we got to the point where like we finally beat him yesterday night. After you beat the first boss, the game kind of opens up, and you have access to 6 more bosses. So you could pick and choose from any of them. or yeah, so that would make a total of 7 bosses, and then you have to beat, I believe, 3 of those additional 6 bosses or 4 of those additional 6 bosses to unlock a final boss who's the 8th boss. So there are 8 different runs. It's not like these are 8 different unique maps. Some elements in the map change depending on which run you're in, but it's kind of the same map. Some stuff just gets moved around, but it's 8 bosses, 8 final bosses that you would to beat this game. You're in like a decrepit version of the Round Table Hold for those who played Elden Ring. There's like some side quest NPC stuff you could do. Like I did like a side quest for my character on one of our runs where I got this item that then I take back to the hub world and I give to an NPC that, you know, gave me some kind of boost as well.
Was it worth it?
It was okay. It wasn't bad. It was like an additional urn, and an urn is what you have to equip your like bonuses before you go into a run, like your permanent upgrades.
Yeah, it could be stronger later on. You never know,
Yeah.
right?
So
Do you have access to all the characters? Like I remember I saw like the breakdown for how many different character types there were. And there's a lot.
There's a lot. There's 8 characters. We have access to 7 of them.
Okay.
You start with access to 6. The 7th character, all you really need to do is go talk to an NPC. We didn't even figure this out until like I don't know how many hours in, and then we talked to an NPC, randomly got access to the 7th character. 4 of those characters were in the beta, but the rest were not. There is the
that mage.
There's a mage character, a sorceress character who works with magic, right? There is basically an archery character who works with like, you know, bow and arrow. There is a character that is kind of the all-around balanced guy who kind of is like a strength dexterity build. There is 2 characters that are kind of a different version of like a heavy, like bulky guy. One of them is like a straight strength build. He's like carrying heavy weapons like hammers or bludgeons or stuff like that. Slower, but does more damage. One of them is like a shield and spear type character who's also a little bit on the heavier side, but his moveset's a little different. There is the Duchess, who is more of like a nifty dexterity character, like quick movements, quick stabs, and stuff like that. And then the character that me and my friend Hamzi that we were running, the ones we settled with, because he kind of represents my Elden Ring playstyle anyway, is effectively the samurai character who has a samurai sword and does like samurai moves and can parry attacks and stuff like that. It's kind of my Elden Ring build anyway in the game. So we went with it. And then my other friend went with the archer. Yeah, so I tried all the characters though, except for the recluse, the girl that like kind of pokey quick. Or not the recluse, that's the Duchess. Yeah, pokey quick. Yeah, that's a freaking way to describe it. Yeah, she's the more pokey quick. But yeah, she's like faster, does less damage. But you know, I haven't tried her. They all have their pros and cons. I found like the bigger, like druid looking guy, like his attacks were taking way too long. I couldn't build up stamina. I didn't mind the hawk guy, even though when I tried him, the shield and spear guy, even though when I tried him in the DLC, I didn't like him. The base guy is kind of like a vanilla guy, like he's all arounded, right? And then the sorceress is actually really good. The problem with her is like trying to make sure your build has like FP recovery or like MP magic
power recovery.
Because otherwise annoying. You're just sitting there. You're just like you have nothing. You can't even do it because once you run out of like magic power, you're screwed. Like if you have no way to recover it, you're screwed. You can't like.
I remember this.
Yeah, you can't do anything. Very early on, again, I do have some reservations. I can kind of see the 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 reviews that this game has been getting. I fully understand them. I do have hope that this game is going to get a little more excited later on.
Yeah,
and it's patch. A roguelike at the end of the day. A lot of roguelikes, you get into them the first time, you don't understand what's going on. You get annoyed. Like that was Balatro for me. Like the first 2 weeks of me playing Balatro, I couldn't really figure it out. I couldn't get past like winning one deck. And then I had the Eureka moment, and then I went forward, and then the other Eureka moment. And I kept playing the game until it's like, okay, I understand what's going on. But yeah, so nothing crazy, but at the same time, fun little weird like Elden Ring spinoff for sure. Very interesting, unique game. So Elden Ring Nightreign, I'm going to be playing more of that for sure. I have been playing more Clair Obscur Expedition 33. We talked about finishing the game last week. I wanted to hop into the side content. quickly, briefly, there's some cool story beats that I've come across in the side content that are really cool that you kind of miss out on the main game. And some of this side content is meant to be end game content for sure. Like, it is brutally hard. It is harder than anything in the base game. It was for sure done in mind in a way that you come revisit this after you've beat the game and do more stuff. And usually the indicator is, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a character that helps you kind of traverse the world, and he gets different abilities to traverse the world easier. Some areas are not unlockable unless you get that final traversal ability, so it makes sense that it's an end game kind of ability. Yeah. So that's all I've been playing. We can move on to our special episode, Derwin. So you'll get a couple of episodes this week too then, similar to last week. In case you missed it, we had our regular kind of news story and what we've been playing, and then we had our Claire Obscure Expedition 33 spoiler cast. So you get 2 weeks in a row, two episodes in a week. But yeah, again, we appreciate your support. So follow us on the Slow Run Cast and like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Ring the bell. It means much to us. If you could comment, that also helps for, player user engagement or whatever they call it. I don't really understand YouTube yet. Maybe I should figure that out. But yeah, the Slow Run Cast everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.